Watch this. Here's a result that looks great. Statistically significant, the kind of number people put in a pitch deck. Now watch what happens when I remind the machine that this was the best of 24 things I tried. It doesn't get a little worse. It falls apart. Same data, same result. One extra piece of honesty. I'm Sandbox Theory, building a hedge-fund-style trading system solo. US large-cap equities, paper traded through Alpaca, human gate before any live order. Last episode, I built performance attribution, the test that splits my return into the market, style tilts, and actual selection skill, with a T-stat on the skill part. But I ended on a trapdoor. Even a beautiful, significant-looking alpha can be a mirage, if you went looking for it across enough experiments. Today is about that trapdoor. It's the most important episode on this channel, and it's the least flattering because the villain is me. Here's the mechanism, and it's not exotic. It's just how randomness works. Suppose I test 50 different configurations of an idea. 50 parameter sets, 50 variations. Most come out mediocre. But by pure chance, one of them looks amazing. Not because it's good, because if you roll the dice 50 times, one roll is going to be a natural. This is the multiple comparisons problem, and it is the original sin of quantitative trading. Because what do we all do? We test a bunch of things and we keep the best one. That's the job. But the very act of keeping the best one means the winner is contaminated by luck. It was selected partly for being genuinely good and partly for being the luckiest of the bunch. And you can't see which just by looking at it. Here's the line I want you to steal. The best of many tries is far less impressive than the same result on the first try. Identical numbers, wildly different meaning. If I hand you one strategy and say, this was the first thing I tested and it worked, that's evidence. If I hand you the same strategy and admit this was the best of 50, that's a lottery ticket I'm holding up as skill. And the reason this is so dangerous is that the contamination is invisible. The winning curve doesn't come with a label. Nothing on the chart says, warning, cherry-picked. So you have to track the picking yourself. So the system keeps a ledger. Boring, bureaucratic, and the most honest thing in the whole build. Every idea I test, I log how many configurations, how many trials went into finding the result I kept. Not a vague memory of, I tried a few things. A count. Because that count is the input to the correction. Then comes the haircut. Two tools do the cutting. The first is the deflated Sharpe ratio, from Bailey and Lopez de Prado, which takes a raw Sharpe and deflates it based on how many strategies you tried before landing on this one. The more you searched, the higher the bar the result has to clear. The second is a Shidok trials adjustment, which does the same thing to a p-value. It converts a raw p-value into a trials-adjusted p-value that accounts for all the shots you took. Let me make it concrete, because this is the part that should change how you think. Say a result comes back with a raw p-value around 0.04. In normal science speak, 0.04 is significant. You'd publish it, you'd trade it, you'd tweet it. Now I feed in the honest context. This result was the best of roughly 24 configurations I tried. The trials adjustment recomputes, and that p-value of 0.04 becomes a trials-adjusted p of around 0.62, 62%. That is not significant. This is completely consistent with random noise. The exact same result, same data, same trade log, went from publishable finding to you found nothing. The instant I stopped hiding, how many times I'd rolled the dice. Nothing about the strategy changed. Only my honesty about the search changed. So think about what this tool actually is. Most of the code in a trading system exists to find edges, to get you excited. This one module exists to do the opposite. Its entire job is to deflate my own excitement. It's a machine I built specifically to talk me down off the ledge every time I think I found something. And here's the rule that makes this real instead of decorative. Nothing is exempt, not even my favorite results. Earlier on this channel, I looked at a post-earnings drift study that came out looking strong, genuinely encouraging. And under this regime, that result doesn't get a pass because I liked it. It goes through the same haircut as everything else. How many things did I try before it looked good? Log it, deflate it, see what survives. Now, I'm not standing here declaring that strategy dead. That would be its own kind of dishonesty, a reverse flex. What I'm saying is it has to earn its keep against the trials-adjusted bar, like everything else. And I'll report, honestly, whichever way it lands. The point isn't to kill ideas. The point is to stop grading my own homework with the answer key open. Because the failure mode here is so seductive. You test, you tweak, you find the good one, you fall a little in love, and every subsequent decision quietly protects the thing you love. The ledger and the haircut are the only defense I know against my own motivated reasoning. They don't care how I feel about the result. The caveats, as always. This is all on paper traded results. The haircut makes results more honest. It doesn't make them live. The trials count depends on me logging honestly. If I lie to the ledger lies back. And no correction can manufacture certainty from a short sample. Sometimes the correct, adult answer is simply, we don't have enough evidence yet. And this system is built to say that out loud, instead of reaching for a greener chart. I have no multi-year audited live track record. What I have is a discipline that makes it very hard for me to lie to myself. On this channel, that counts as a feature, not a disappointment. The ledger, the deflated sharp implementation, and the Shidduch adjustment are all in the repo, linked below. If you run enough backtests to feel clever, run them through this and feel humble instead. That's the upgrade. If you found this useful, this is the episode I'd actually ask you to share because almost nobody in this space talks about it honestly. Send it to the friend who keeps showing you their one great backtest. Next episode, I get even more honest. What a real hedge fund has that I don't the actual gap list. Liquidity and capacity, operational single points of failure, independent risk, an audited live record, and the things I deliberately don't do that are choices, not gaps. Remember the one sentence. The best of many tries is far less impressive than the same result on the first try. Count your tries. See you in the next one.